What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Stigler. I'm a pro football performance coach, and I don't have my sunglasses on today, so I feel like this workout doesn't even really count. So today we have a bit of a weird session. We will be doing a bunch of upper, lower, and abs just like last time, except we're gonna kind of be winging it a little bit just because I have I'm gonna be playing in a match tomorrow, which I didn't really expect that I was going to be doing. So we're going to wing it a little bit, but I'm going to give you guys a ton of exercises that I know you have not seen before, and a ton of things that's going to be really good for your mobility, for getting strong in weird positions, and I just know there's going to be a lot of value in this video for you guys, so make sure to stick around, hang with me for a little bit. You know, one of these myths that people always talk about is the fact that you can't static stretch before a workout, and it completely depends on the athlete. For someone like me, I am way more stiff. So by actually mobilizing a little bit, specifically in the hips and the adductors, it's not going to take away a ton of power from me. It's actually just going to increase the range of motion that I can access during the workout. And in terms of like it increasing the risk of injury, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case either. Just as long as you don't like introduce a new stretch and you do that stretch to an insane degree like right before a match, then that would obviously be a problem. Because then your joints might be put in different positions that they aren't normally, and then you're in the match, you're going through high speeds, you're going into all these different positions, and you're just stressing your tissues in a different way than they usually are. So don't be afraid to do some static stretching before. It's not going to kill you. Also, quick poll with you guys. I haven't got Adidas shoes in forever. I don't know how I feel about them yet. Let me know in the comments. Are you team Adidas or are you team Nike? Because for me, specifically with cleats, I never go Adidas. I actually just got my first pair of Puma cleats this year just because I don't really fuck with a lot of the Nike stuff that's come out. I'm not a Tiempo guy by any means. So, and then when it comes to like day-to-day shoes, I've never gone Adidas either, but I actually fuck with these. So let me know in the comments which team you are. If it's different for cleats and day-to-day shoes, in all honesty, my hips actually already feel crazy after that first one. But we're gonna get into another fun iso. So this is a knees over toes guy exercise, or you know, he popularized it. He didn't necessarily create this exercise, obviously. And I definitely used to hate on it a little bit more, but at the same time, I've definitely seen some value in incredibly deep range isometrics. I think I used to be hyper focused on like position of the pelvis and everything like that. But you have to really consider like what you actually see on the pitch on any field sport in general, on the position that the joints and the muscles are in. We're never in this like perfectly neutral pelvis all the time. So it's perfectly fine to get into these deeper ranges of motion. So basically what this is just like a super wide stance split squat isometric, like as wide as you can possibly go. Don't laugh at me. I got tight hips, all right? So we're gonna get into it. We're just gonna walk this back as far as we possibly can. I'm gonna try and keep a relatively neutral shin angle though for this one, and we're just gonna hold and breathe. So when I say neutral shin angle, what I mean is that shin is relatively vertical. This is a negative shin angle. This is a positive one. This is relatively neutral. So I want to hang here, again, a huge stretch in this back leg. Really gonna try and focus on keeping the weight on the heel, not because it's a bad thing to have weight on the toes, but simply because it is beneficial in terms of a neutral shin angle. You can see if you really push this range of motion, whew, you start to shake a bit. Also didn't eat this morning, not to make excuses. Okay, holy shit. One reason that for years I never really made much progress in terms of my mobility is because it was all purely passive. And people say, oh, is it a mobility issue? Is it a strength issue? Those things go hand in hand. It's just a matter of making your static stretching a little bit less static, a little bit more dynamic, and stressing the body. Because the more we stress the body, the more the body's going to want to change. So if you're doing your mobility work and all the time it's super easy, probably doing something wrong. So my hips are all lit up from those first two exercises. I'm gonna do this one facing you guys just because it's gonna be easier this way. But this is gonna be barbell wide stance rotations with so it's gonna be thoracic extension, and it's gonna really work to loosen up the hips as well. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna set up like a regular back squat here. If you don't have enough space, like if you're in a public gym that gets super crowded or something like that, you can always just hold a plate overhead and do the same thing. It's really not a huge deal, but I do like the barbell just because it adds some extra range of motion to this exercise. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna come up, you're gonna walk it out, make sure you have enough space. Then we're gonna go with a relatively wide stance, nothing too crazy, but then all I'm gonna do, keeping the head facing forward, that's the key. So I'm gonna bring this back. I'm gonna look behind me just to make sure I don't hit the, okay, we're gonna need to walk it out just a little bit farther. Give me 1 second, guys. Just gotta make sure you can actually see me here. Okay, as I was saying, walking it forward so we have enough space to rotate. Wide stance. I wanna make sure those toes are facing forward as I do this here. Head facing forward, I wanna rotate. Breathing in. Exhale to return back. Breathing in. Exhale to return back. The reason I'm keeping my head facing forward is because I'm teaching my thoracic spine and my lumbar spine to move independently of my cervical spine or my neck. This is just creating relative motion instead of absolute, which we've talked about plenty on this channel before. And in terms of relative versus absolute motion, for those of you that are new, that's why those players like Neymar, like Mbappe, like Messi, why these guys are so fluid and why it looks so smooth as they do their motions. It's because those joints can move independently, whereas you see those big bulky guys where everything moves at the same time. So if I was gonna do absolute motion, it would be this, and my entire body would move without being able to segment anything. I can even widen the stance out a little bit here. Get some more adductor and hip into this. It makes it way harder. And we walk it in. And again, this is one of those that can be added to your low, your medium, or your high stim days. Medium stim, probably not as much because there isn't like constant tension on the exercise, but I do really like this as like a low stim warm up for high rep stuff, or you can load it up pretty heavy and then you can work on your rotation like that. So, you know, I was thinking about this on the car ride over here just because I think a lot of my life personally, and I imagine that this happens to just about everybody, and it's kind of happened to me in both business, in soccer or football, in life in general, and it's not always ill-intentioned, but people will really try and put their own limitations on you in some way. And I think it's taken me a really long time personally. I haven't consciously done it, but I've subconsciously like accepted those limitations a lot of times because it's easy to do and it's easy to get caught off guard when that person has good intentions for you and you can feel those good intentions. But I think lately I've had some people try and do it ill-intentioned and it's been a little bit more obvious and alarming to me. And I think because of that, I've been able to reflect on all the people and all the different things that people have said to kind of put their own limitations on me. And you know, you gotta break out of that. You gotta really reflect on like, what do you really want out of this? And what are you willing to do to get it? Because I think that's the biggest thing for me is like, when I was young, I had some like crazy work ethic with soccer, football, with weightlifting, with all these different things. And people would always just tell me like, you know, relax, enjoy, you're a kid, all these different things. And it was always well-intentioned because they wanted me to enjoy my childhood and do all the things that children want to do. But that just was never anything I was terribly interested in, to be honest. And it kind of made me feel like I was like weird in a way for wanting to do all these things. Like I would skip hangouts with friends to work out, and I'm not saying that that's healthy, or I'm not saying that that's something that you should do, but that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do deep down. And you know, now I kind of see it in business as well, and this is just, you know, I've asked people for help with business. Like this is not ill-intentioned at all, but people have kind of told me what they've done, and I've seen what people have done in terms of whether it's social media, whether it's the actual products that they sell, whether that's the events that they do. And I've just seen them and been like, okay, this is the blueprint. This is what people do. That is what I do. I will do no more. I will do no less. And I've just kind of realized that I don't want what they want. You know, I don't want what they have. I want to, you know, whether it's I want to do more or I just want to do different. It's the same for you in life. If someone's giving you advice on how to train for football or what your personal life should be or how your family life should be. They don't want what you want. You don't want what they want. Those things just don't align, you know? So I think what's actually beneficial is to see what other people are doing, take certain things that may be beneficial for you, some things that do resonate for you, and use them in your own life. But you don't need to completely copy these people, you know? So hopefully this helps one person out there. So anyway, for this exercise, what we're gonna get into is gonna be a tall kneeling overhead to stand. So this one is pretty brutal for me because I don't have great overhead mobility. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hold this weight overhead like this. And from here, I'm just gonna bring a knee up, make sure I'm not gonna hit anything, stand up, knee down, knee down. So I'm gonna do one side at a time. I'm gonna go right foot up, left foot back, right knee down, right, left, right. It's a good hip opener, puts the abs on length, which gets us strong and weak and weird positions. And it strengthens the knees and the knees and the ankles. You know, I woke up today just like kind of stiff, a little bit achy. I didn't get that much sleep. And I have to say, almost immediately from coming here, I feel a million times better. I got advice from someone a long time ago. I can't remember who it was, but he said something along the lines of, if you have training scheduled and if you don't feel well, at least go and make yourself do the warm up. If you still don't feel it, then you get a pass, you can leave, but you do still need to show up because oftentimes that is the hardest part. And oftentimes, like if your body's just aching, you just need to move a little bit. Like for me, God, so much of what I do day to day is on a computer. It's like, of course, every now and then I'm gonna wake up feeling stiff, feeling a little bit achy. But coming here, like almost immediately, I feel a million times better. I am going to do the Pancake Row or like I haven't come up with a like great name for it yet. But honestly, what name is better than Pancake Row? Anyway, I'm gonna redo that exercise. I know that we did it. Did I even? Oh wait. No, that was in the routine that I recorded and then didn't put up because the mic died. Oh, perfect. Here we go. New exercise again for you guys. You know what? While we're on this topic, since we're already discussing Nike versus Adidas, in spirit of the Pancake Row, pancakes or waffles? Have to pick one. Can only eat one for the rest of your life. Let me know in the comments. All right. So for this exercise where I get those legs as wide as we can, in this seated position, it's gonna be pretty difficult. I'm gonna look so stiff doing this, it's going to be embarrassing. So legs are nice and wide, I'm gonna stay nice and tall. What I'm going to do is let this weight win, pull me forward, and try and get me to fold over as much as we can. Again, this is really bad. I'm so stiff in this position, which is why we're doing it. And then we pull chest high. Big crack in the upper back there. We're loosening up still. Whew. So here's the thing, and I'll die on this hill. I'm taking pancakes over waffles, but it's only for one reason. It's not quality, it's quantity. For me, if I go out to breakfast and they give me one waffle, I'm gonna eat that waffle in about 10 minutes, and it's just like, I'm gonna be so sad after it. But pancakes, especially here in America, they hook you up. Like, it's the most American breakfast of all time, but I have this one breakfast place that I used to go to. Haven't gone in a bit because I'm trying to lose some weight, but they'd hook you up with like this huge skillet, and I could barely finish the skillet on my own. And then they're like, would you like a side of pancakes? It's like, pancakes are not a side, dude, but they hook it up, and I got like, they hit you up with three pancakes, and you can like sub them out for like chocolate chip pancakes. I'm like, who can eat all that? That's like, it's like 2 days worth of calories right there. It's insane. But because you get way more pancakes than you do waffles, I'm taking pancakes all day. Now, if you can find me a place that gives you 3 stacks of waffles, I'll change my mind. All right, guys, so this next one is going to be a forward curtsy lunge, and I'm probably actually just gonna face you as I do this. Sorry, floral mat, but you gotta go for now. So I'll show you without weight first, but what you're gonna wanna do is a regular curtsy lunge is when you step behind like this, and you can see the reason why we would do this is because my hips kind of open up in a unique way. I'm creating some rotation at the knee, and it's just a unique position. Now, a forward curtsy lunge is one I don't I don't think I've ever seen anyone do actually. So what you're gonna do actually is you're gonna step in front of that leg like that and then press up out of it. So it's a little bit different than the reverse variation. So for today, I'm gonna hold it in a front rack position where you see how this feels. If I had to rank my least favorite ways of loading a position, front rack is number one, without a doubt. All right, here we go. Crossing over. One. Can vary your step length here. The thing with this one is, you definitely don't want like your hips to fully open up. So if I cross over here, I don't want to like turn the face that way. I want to stay facing forward. Chest really doesn't move. It's all on the hips, on the legs. Okay, other side. Not too bad, actually. I usually work with the TV on in the morning. I know, it's not great, but as I was doing my programming, I just, so you know, stream, like I just put YouTube up, and YouTube decided it'd be a good idea to just autoplay the Man United versus Coventry, the Man United highlights, and bro, I could not believe it. I didn't see that game because I was actually working here while the game was happening. I heard about it. I heard they blew a 3-0 lead. And oh my God, watching Anthony. Anthony is just the like biggest joke of a player. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm running a little Anthony hate fan club. And you know, I just remember when he scored his first goal this season. I can't remember who it was against, but I believe it was against a Championship 2 team. And he just celebrated, like he absolutely just like he won the World Cup. It's like, dude, he's so out of touch. So then he scores, or he didn't even take a penalty, I don't believe. But we win the penalty shootout, and Anthony's doing this to the Coventry players. Like, what an absolute joke, dude. You have no idea what's going on. Like, it should not have got that far, number one. Number two, you didn't even take a penalty. Number three, you're a $100 million fidget spinner who has done nothing for this club. Just truly like the biggest joke of a player that I've ever seen, but whatever. Now I'm getting heated in the middle of workout. All right, last one we're gonna do is a acceleration calf exercise. I think you guys are gonna like this one. So as you guys are doing this exercise, you can either use a wall, you can use a barbell, you can use really anything as long as you're able to push into it and you're able to maintain this like relatively 45-degree angle with your torso, because that's going to be what translates best to acceleration mechanics. And we're going to specifically be working the calf, the ankle, the Achilles, and all these different things. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So I'll use this just to replicate it best. Then what I'm going to do is one leg is going to be bent at about 90 degrees right here, and then one leg is going to be up like this, like I'm sprinting. And from here, I'm going to lower that heel as far down as I can. Come up, come down, come up, down. Fun fact, if you can hear that on the mic, my ankles crack with like every step I take. I've never had an ankle injury. It's just something that seems to happen for me. That's why so often people ask me, how do I stop cracking in the knees? I'm like, does it hurt? If it doesn't hurt, there's no like direct correlation. Cracking at the knees and pain or injury. So don't worry about it. One thing I want to say really quickly before we go is I would love if, like, you know, I'm doing these things relatively consistently. If you guys drop comments in this video, I will make sure to take the questions from that video and answer them in the next video. We can do it as like a Q&A type thing. So if you have questions on anything, whether it's fitness, whether it's football, whether it's anything about life in general, if you want to know something about me, something about my history of how I, you know, became a strength coach or performance coach, or anything about my football career, like just drop it in the comments below, and then I will make sure to answer it in the following video, because I'm planning on doing these relatively weekly. Like I said, just make sure, ask any questions below. Let me know if you're a Nike or Adidas person. Let me know if you're a pancakes or waffle person, all right? Thank you guys again. I appreciate your support, and I will make sure to see you guys next time.